The following is an interview between His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and the magazine Newsday, recorded July 14th, 1976 in New York.
If you could tell me how you came to founding the movement here in the United States.
I was ordered by my spiritual master to do this work. So on his order, I came in 1965. That is the beginning of the work. I came alone. There was no help, no money. Somehow or other, I started.
How did you attract people? You landed in New York. You had no
My
money.
attraction is this chanting. That's all.
Did you just stand on street corners and chant?
Yes, I have no magic. Just like others, they say show some magic. I never showed any magic.
No, I understand that.
Tompkins Park.
I Tompkins Park, I was chanting and the boys gradually getting in. First picture was published by the New York Times. And then we started branches in San Francisco, in Montreal, Boston, then Los Angeles.
So you just chanted in Tompkins Park and people came
Yes,
to you
under the tree. I think that picture was published by that Voice.
East Village.
Very big article.
What did you have to offer then when, if you were chanting in the park and I came up to you and said, what are you doing? Or why are you chanting? What's your thing here?
He
He
said, what
says-
do you have to offer?
If someone had come up to you while you were chanting and said, "Why are you doing this? What are you offering?" how would you have replied?
They naturally they came and joined me and began to dance. That's all. That is the beginning.
But what if they ask you, "What is this all about?"
No, this is for spiritual realization. If you chant, then gradually you realize yourself that you are a spiritual being, you are not this body. Then his spiritual life begins. Actually, human life is meant for spiritual realization. And if one does not spiritually realize his identity, then he remains an animal. That is the difference between animal and man. Man is supposed to be spiritually realized.
How is that spiritual dimension realized?
One has to realize that he is not this body. He is spirit soul. And the spirit soul is within the body. And after annihilation of this body, the spirit soul is transferred to another body. So there are 8,400,000 different forms of life. And we have to transmigrate to any one of these forms. So today I am in American body or Indian body, very comfortably situated. But at the time of death, my particular mentality will transfer me to a particular type of body. Exactly like if a man infects some contagious disease, he has to develop that disease. It is very subtle. material laws. So similarly, we are composed of gross body and subtle body. The gross body is made of this earth, water, air, fire, ether, like this. And the subtle body is made of mind, intelligence and ego. And the spirit soul is within that outward, gross and subtle body. So when the gross body is annihilated, the subtle body, mind, carries the soul to a similar body as you are thinking at the time of death. The example is given just like the flavor of a rose garden is carried by the air, or the bad odor of a filthy place is also carried by the air. Similarly, mind intelligence carries me to a particular type of body as I was absorbed in thought at the time of death.
What's the ultimate? What is the ultimate?
Ultimate is that you are spirit soul, you are being materially engrossed, you are creating different situations, and you are being transferred to different body, that is different situation.
But for what purpose and to what end? What's the final end?
Yes, the final that unless you spiritually realize, you do not know what is the final end. The final end is that we are part and parcel of God. Somewhere or other we are in contact with this material atmosphere. So our final aim is to go back to home, back to God. Unless we know this and we practice how to return back again to Godhead, then we have to remain within this material world, transmigrating from one body to another. Therefore, the human intelligence is meant for understanding the spiritual identity and the goal of life and act accordingly. That is Krishna consciousness. It is an educational movement to enlighten the people from gross ignorance to the highest enlightenment of spiritual understanding.
Is it an internal educational process or external?
It is internal, but externally it's like externally behavior makes internal inclination. If you associate with some bad company, then internally also you develop bad propensities. And if you associate with good company, then internally you develop good propensities. So internally, externally, they are interrelated. By external behavior, we influence our internal energy. And by internal atmosphere, we get the external body.
But you see, I'm trying to find out whether the consciousness lies within us.
Yes,
brought out.
Consciousness is we call this like sunshine and the sun. Similarly, the soul means consciousness. It is just like sunshine. The soul is very small particle, but it is shining as consciousness.
So we can allow it to to fulfill itself or not.
He wants to know, is this consciousness within us?
Yes. So long the soul is there, the consciousness is there.
Krishna consciousness.
Not immediately Krishna, the consciousness is there. It's like, so long the soul is there, you pinch any part of your body, you'll feel pain. That is consciousness. And when the soul is gone out of the body, to cut the hand, there will be no consciousness.
Right.
Did you mean to ask whether the ultimate state of consciousness is within us that has to be brought out?
The consciousness is already there.
He meant the dormant Krishna consciousness. Is that...
That is original consciousness.
So that is within us, and it needs to be brought out.
Oh yes.
Okay, now how is that brought out?
That is brought out by this process.
Okay.
You have to go under some process.
All right. Does it...
Just like a man can be made unconscious and again conscious under some process. If you, what is called?
Anesthesia?
Anesthetic, he becomes unconscious. Then another process, we can bring him conscious.
All right, let me ask a rather long question. If a person is... Let's assume that all human beings have an innate ability to speak, and depending upon the circumstances they find themselves in when they're very small, they will learn Sanskrit, they will learn English, they will learn French, they will learn Chinese. Now, if I were Chinese, I would say, well, Chinese is the best language, or whatever. I can take a different mode on what's the best way to communicate.
No, Chinese.
Now, in terms of your movement, you're bringing out consciousness, which I would analogize to the ability to speak. Now, how is your path or your way different from, better than others?
No, there is no question of better than others. It is the only thing.
It's the only way?
Only thing. It's not the question of better or superior. Krishna consciousness means God consciousness. So, either you are Chinese or English or American, there is consciousness.
Yes.
When that consciousness is purified, there is God consciousness.
Yes. But is your way the only way?
Huh?
Is your way the
No,
only
that is
way?
only way because God is one.
Yes.
And God consciousness is one.
Yes.
So when you are Chinese consciousness, that is foreign. Or either American consciousness, it is foreign.
Okay, I was speaking in an analogical way. There are different ways to express oneself. There are different languages one can learn. Similarly, I would think there would be different ways to get to consciousness.
Different ways maybe, but if you actually come to that consciousness, that different ways approve. Other it is bogus.
Other way?
It is bogus.
You judge by the results.
If you come to God consciousness, either through the Christian process or Chinese process or Indian process, it doesn't matter. But if you do not come to God consciousness, then it is all bogus.
But you can come to God consciousness through a variety of paths.
He's saying that. He's saying if.
He says, but you can come to God consciousness by different processes.
Can you?
Process.
Can you?
No, it is not that. The aim is to come to the God consciousness. And the means may be different.
Okay.
So that means is justified by the end.
All right.
If at the end you do not come to God consciousness, then whatever process you have, that is bogus. That is not bona fide.
It works. You say it works?
That's another question.
If it works, it is bona fide.
Okay.
If it does not work, then it is bogus.
And to your mind, is it possible to come to God consciousness through other means
I
than
say,
yours?
if it is possible, then it is all right.
Is it possible?
Yes, if it is possible.
Is it though?
That you have to
Now,
see out there.
think this,
That you have to pick. You have to judge whether you're going to get the result.
people, whether he is coming to God consciousness or dog consciousness, the two things are there. Consciousness means when he understands that I am part and parcel of God, I am servant of God, then it is all right. But he is thinking that I am servant of dog, and then it is not proper way.
Okay, your movement's been criticized. Your movement has been criticized.
I don't know. How it is criticized? How it is criticized?
People who have said that it works against the family, it works against Western society, that you...
Yeah, here is a family man. Here is a family man.
I'm sorry.
Here is a family man.
He has,
How you say
he has his
against
wife.
families.
Yes.
There are so many families here, children. You have seen our class in the morning?
No, I have not.
All family members, children, husband, wife, they are present there. How do you say it is against family? Wrong criticism.
Are your followers encouraged to
No,
visit with
first of all, you take your answer one by one. You say against the family. It is wrong. It is a wrong propaganda. How there are so many families in our society. It is a suicide. There are family members, there are brahmachari, there are sannyasi, manapasta, whatever situation is suitable for you can accept. And in any situation, you can become God conscious. That's a wrong propaganda that we are against families. Here is a wife of a boy, their family. There are so many families. Why do you say like that we are against families?
Okay,
This is wrong. You should note it especially that this type of criticism is envious. It is not proper. We invite all families, children, husband, wife, come out, take this account.
I've been accosted at airports, on streets, places like that, by devotees, and I've been told that you operate drug centers and a number of other things.
Drug centers.
He means for curing people.
Huh?
Places where people will become cured from the bad habit of taking drugs. That's a drug center.
Yeah. But our people are all free from our drug disease.
He is saying that he has simply met devotees at airports and other places where they approach him to maybe ask for some contribution to see if he's interested, and they say that they are representing some drug center, something like that. So what's the question?
Well, I mean, and they offer to sell literature and that. Is that the way to God consciousness, by selling and soliciting?
If you are God conscious,
how does that fit in?
Naturally, you give up all intoxication habits.
Yeah, but just going out and selling and accosting people on...
He's asking, how does our Sankirtan activities relate to God consciousness, the selling of books and collecting of donations?
If I sell a book to you, if you read because you are paid for, then you'll get benefit.
But how does it benefit the seller? How does it benefit the person who works on the street selling the book?
How does it benefit the person who is selling the book?
The devotee.
Oh, devotee.
How is he benefited by selling books to others?
He is giving service to Krishna. He is not charging anything. If we appoint some bookseller, you have to pay. But we haven't got to pay. Out of his love for Krishna, he is doing that.
See, our men who distribute these books, they do not receive salary.
It's like welfare.
But
that is the sign of love. That is in a material field also. There are so many philosophers, scientists, and artists. They have done out of love for the subject matter, not for payment. That is love.
But aren't they also purified spiritually?
Yes. This spiritual realization means the more you give service to God, you become spiritually advanced. In any way.
are some of the other aside from? I mean, I see people selling things, and what other practices are involved?
Then he stay one day, whole day, and night. You can see practically from morning 4 o'clock to night 10 o'clock how we are engaged in different practices.
You guys at 4?
Huh?
You guys at 4?
3:30.
3:30?
In this temple, 3:30.
And chant.
Chant, study.
You go any room or you have you find simply Krishna consciousness.
Preparing for the morning services.
Yes, that you can describe the whole day's program.
You're real clear from that.
Okay. What's the purpose of that regimen?
Huh?
What's the purpose of that? The rising at 4:30, the chanting, the study. What?
It is to be accustomed in the spiritual life. Just like in military, there is training. You must have to do at this time, this thing, this time, this time. So any training means regulated life.
What is the most important part of it?
The most important part is how to become Krishna conscious.
Yeah, what's the most important
Practice.
practice in terms of that?
Yeah. This is practice.
No, but what is the most important
devotional practice?
He's asking
Everything
whether
is
one
important.
technique is more
Everything
important
is
than
important.
another.
You cannot say this is most important, this is less important. Everything is important.
But suppose someone cannot live in our temple, then we may recommend to him at least chant Hare Krishna in your home
Yeah.
and take Krishna Prasadam and read the books
And follow the regulated things.
and follow as far as possible.
Refrain from sinful life. What are the sinful life?
No illicit sex, no gambling, no meat eating, and no intoxication.
Just like a diseased man, if he wants to be cured, there is something price. Don't do this, don't eat this. Because it is also curing the diseased mind and to bring him in the spiritual platform. So there are something, do something, do not.
Yes.
That's all. That is everywhere.
How? You came here 10 years ago. You were, or 11 years ago. You were almost 70 at the time.
And Guru Maharaj asked me to take this task seriously when I was 25 years old.
Who asked you?
25 years old.
Spiritual master.
Your spiritual master. Yeah.
So I was at that time family man. So I thought, let me adjust my family affairs, then I shall take it. So by doing the adjustment, it took me long years. So I retired at the age of 58. Then I took up seriously. And when I was 70 years old, then I came here.
Were you a businessman or?
Yeah, I was connected with some chemical industry. I was manager in a big chemical industry. Then I started my own business. In this way, I was family man.
But
But at the same time, Srila Prabhupada was always Krishna conscious.
Yeah,
he was writing.
And also he was writing transcendental or spiritual books, even at that time.
1944.
It's not that he has adopted a new occupation now. It has always been Krishna conscious.
this Back to Godhead was started in 1944 when I was still a family man.
You started that in India.
India. The first copy is here, some
The
copy.
first copy is in the Library of Congress in Washington.
Your family, your blood family, are they Krishna conscious as well?
Not very much. Therefore I have to leave them and create another family.
How many children do you have?
I've got 2 daughters and 2 sons. My wife is also still living.
Is she Krishna conscious?
Not very much. Naturally, women are after worldly opulence.
Was it difficult for you to give up what you had been doing in order to devote full time? Was it difficult for you to give up what you had been doing and devote full time?
No, it is a Vedic system that at a certain age they should give up family connection and completely devote for God consciousness. In the beginning, 25 years, he should learn from Guru about Krishna consciousness. Then if he is able, he does not become a family man. But if he is unable, or circumstantially, he may become a family man. So he can remain a family man up to 50th year. And then he retires from family life. He travels in holy places with his wife, and sometimes he comes home and sometimes he goes home. In this way, when he is practiced to give up family attachment, then the wife goes back home and the care of her elderly children, and the man takes sannyas and he remains alone, simply for spreading Krishna consciousness. This is Vedic system.
Vedic system means very traditional from ancient India.
Yes. Now you are not practicing the Vedic system then here, are you? Or are you?
No, it is all Vedic system.
Devotees.
It is Vedic system.
Okay. Is it better to do it the way you did it, or to start from a very early age?
In other words, some of our members are sannyas at an earlier age.
The purpose is to train a person in brahmacharya not to enter into the entanglement of this material life. That is Vedic system. Basic principle is that don't be entangled with this material life. So at the early age, up to 25, he is trained up. If he can continue as brahmachari. He directly can take sannyas. But if he is unable, well, let him go by step. Let him become a family householder life, then retired life. But sannyas at the end, that is compulsory. Not that unless he is shot down by somebody, he is not going to give up family connection. That is not Vedic system.
But young men don't tend to be wise, do they? Young men do not generally possess a great deal of wisdom.
No, if he is trained up, just like here, we have got so many young men.
Yes.
They are trained up. So there is no prohibition that a young man cannot become a sannyas. If he is able, he can take sannyas from the very beginning. But if he is not able, let him enter into household life. And then remain as householder or up to 50th year, then retire, then take sannyas. It is not an enforcement, it's a gradual process. But the ultimate end is to become free from all material attachment and completely devote life for Krishna consciousness. That is the ultimate. Because human life is meant for that purpose. Self-realization or spiritual realization. That opportunity must be given to all human beings. Unfortunately, at the present moment, the civilization has no scope for spiritual realization. They live like other animals, eating, sleeping, mating, and remaining. They do not know there is another life, spiritual life. And neither there is an education or an institution to educate them. Now we are trying for it.
How important is it to look after physical life?
Physical life, so you must keep yourself fit to execute Krishna consciousness. It is not our desire that you become sick and you cannot chant. But our purpose is to chant, and we require the physical necessity just to keep ourselves fit. not more than that. Eating is necessary. Without eating I will die. So we take Krishna prasadam, not in the restaurant or hotel, anything, no. We take nice vegetable, nice food grains, rice, wheat, sugar, milk, all vitamins, full of vitamins. And so there is no deficiency of food, even from food value, it is very nice. We do not unnecessarily kill animals.
You run farms as well, do you not?
Yeah.
Farms?
Yeah.
What do they... Are they working farms, producing farms?
Yes, there are many farms in your country. Just now I'm coming from Vrindavan. So, in West Virginia, they are living, if you go sometime, you can see how independently they are living. And there are other farms, New Orleans, and just now we are going tomorrow. Pennsylvania. So we get enough milk, enough food grains, enough fruits. So there is no economic problem. Our purpose is to save time for unnecessary necessities of life. From unnecessary necessities of life, to save time and utilize the time for developing Krishna consciousness. And so far the body is concerned, as much as it is required, take and maintain the body. That's it.
Okay. Your devotees' health is looked after?
Yes.
By whom?
They are instructed in that way. Plain living, high thinking.
Do you have arrangements with hospitals in case somebody gets sick, and do you watch diet pretty carefully in
Oh yes,
temple?
why not? Why not? We take care of the body, but we keep our habits in such a way we don't fall sick very often.
You said before that with respect to achieving Krishna consciousness, that the end was most important, that becoming God conscious was the most important thing. Would that ever allow you to, or anyone of your devotees, to engage in practices that would be considered unjust or criminal in a broader society?
That is his interest.
In terms of, this is for Krishna, this is for development of God consciousness.
No, if you are interested in Krishna, you are interested for everyone.
Yes.
And if you are interested for a particular person, society, then you are not interested in Krishna. The example I can give you, just like if you supply food to your stomach, then you supply food to your eyes, ears, hands, legs, everything. But if you supply food to your eyes, then you become blind.
He wants to know that would you be justified in doing something that society would consider criminal? And
like
say that
stealing for Krishna or killing for Krishna.
Killing?
If it is something that is judged by, say, the U.S. government as criminal, would we still do it if it was for Krishna? If we could justify it?
No, we do not know anything
We don't break the
which is
laws.
harmful to the society.
He may have gotten
We do not
some
do it.
literary facts.
Not only to the human society, to the animal society, to the tree society, to the aquatic society. We do not do anything. We do not support the slaughterhouse.
Do not
Support the slaughterhouse, killing the animals. Consciousness means to see every living entity on the same level. Pandita Samadarshina. We are not cruel to anyone. Either he is a man or animal or tree or bird.
Does that take on a positive aspect as well, so that not only do I not kill animals and I don't kill men, am I obliged, and under your system, am I obliged to actively help.
Yes, suppose if you are coming to kill me, then I must take advantage of killing you first.
I understand that, but I'm not only.
Are you also
Am I obliged to go beyond and help?
Are you also obliged to help animals, to help other
Yes, we are maintaining animals, giving them food, giving them security of life. In all our farms, the animals are very free.
We're obliged because they're all part and parcel of God.
Yes.
And what about people?
Every people, they come to stay with us. We give you all help. Anyone who comes to our society. We give shelter, we give food, we give instruction, we give dress, everything. Without any condition. Please come and live with us. It's such a nice building we have taken. Our farms are so nice, we can go and see how they are living. We have got 102 centers all over the world. You'll find they are living very comfortably.
How many centers in the United States?
About 40.
40 or 50. 50 with the farms.
How are those supported? Do they support themselves?
That is Krishna consciousness.
I beg your pardon?
That is Krishna consciousness.
The way they support themselves?
Yeah, Krishna supports.
Krishna supports?
Yeah. We do not know what we shall eat tomorrow, but we have no insufficiency. Rather, neighbors, they are grudging that these people do not do anything and they live so comfortably. Sometimes they
How
ask.
does Krishna support them?
That is Krishna consciousness.
He mediates through physical things, doesn't he?
Yes,
To support them?
everything belongs to Krishna.
Yes.
So, Krishna is within you. So, if Krishna dictates, give him $3,000, he will give me. That's all. That actually is fine. Yesterday Mr. Coleman came, he gave me a check for 3,000. I never asked him. Yeah. So you are immediately depositing for our Vrindavan and Mayapur scheme. So Krishna sends money. We do not bother what will happen tomorrow. But we are very nicely maintained by Krishna in this. That is Krishna consciousness. And Krishna says, Tisham nitya vijiktanam yoga khemam bahami ham. Find out this now. Anannas chintayantam mang jijana padupasate Tisham nitya vijiktanam yoga khemam bahami ham.
Question, what, you are now the leader and the spiritual master. Who will take your place?
That will Krishna will dictate, will take my place.
Krishna will tell you that?
You got that verse? You want that verse?
Yes, yes.
This is the translation of what the Sanskrit
You can read the Sanskrit now. You can see
Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana payupasate tesham nitya bhayuktanam yogashimam vahamayaham. But those who worship me with devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have.
You still have to go out and ask occasionally. You still have to go out and ask occasionally.
Oh, it's not that we sit back and wait for Krishna to send it to
No,
us.
we're very industrious.
Yes.
No, we don't sit down idle.
God helps those who help themselves.
We are not idle creatures. We are working
Working hard.
very hard, more than the Karmis.
These men, they go out to engage people in taking our books maybe 12 hours a day sometimes, 10 hours a day, without any salary.
Now,
By their
even
voluntary
I am
choice.
now 80 years old. I am working 24 hours. I think I work more than my young disciples. I work at night.
It is hard to keep up with Srila Prabhupada.
Very difficult.
We are not advocates.
We are publishing his books, and sometimes he is ahead of us by 17 volumes.
How do you spend your days? You're doing an awful lot of traveling, I understand.
Traveling is going on throughout the whole world. And wherever I go, at night I write books, translate, and daytime I meet devotees, manage.
You arrange the marriages?
Manage.
They have to ask me, final decision is taken from all over the world. From all over the world letters are coming. Some problem. Although I have got about 20 secretaries, still they have to consult. I have to give them advice.
In the evening, Srila Prabhupada goes to bed at 10 o'clock and gets up at 11:30 to begin translating.
Would you sleep just a couple of hours?
No, 1.5 hours.
That's it?
Yes. Of course, and the time I take rest 2 hours.
2 hours.
So in this way, altogether about 3 to 4 hours. Our philosophy is not that you sit idly and God will send everything. No, not like that. We know God will send everything. Still we work. Without God's sanction, nothing can come. But we must be qualified to receive the favor of God. That is all.
Are you surprised at the way this organization has prospered?
I was surprised at the way the movement has expanded and prospered in just a few short years.
No, it is not surprising. It is natural. If you do it, just like if you do business in proper way, there will be profit. Similarly, as it is enjoyed in this book of knowledge, if you do like that, it will expand, it will prosper. 2 plus 2 equal to 4. Mathematical calculation. If you make 2 plus 2, it will become 4. It will neither become 3 nor 5. So here it is said, you have read that one who is engaged 24 hours in my service. So I I supply whatever he requires and I protect whatever he has got. So if you actually serve Krishna, then everything you want, it will come.
That would hold me.
Do you have any questions about our festival coming up this Sunday? You know we're marching down 5th Avenue.
Are you going tomorrow?
He asks if you're going to participate in the Rath Yatra parade.
This is the parade that it's based on.
This is a photograph of what takes place in India every year. It's a traditional festival in India, and we're bringing it to New York. We've got our permits and everything.
We have already got in San Francisco, in Chicago,
Philadelphia, I think London,
Melbourne.
Paris we're beginning also
This year?
Yes.
First year Paris.
This is our festivals that we've begun in the West, based on the one on the front there.
You can take that.
You are participating in it, are you not?
Somewhere where opportunity I participate, otherwise they do it.
In other words, Prabhupada doesn't attend every festival all over the world.
Will you attend the one here in New York?
Yeah, I know.
How do you choose? You are responsible for the organization.
Yes.
Are you the one who chooses who runs each center, who is responsible in each temple?
Our program is to open centers in every village, every town, to propagate Krishna consciousness.
And you choose the leaders. What Krishna does and tells you. How does that work?
No, I have been chosen by my spiritual master.
Yes. And you in turn choose others?
Oh, yeah. That is our succession.
On what basis?
Basis on the order of Krishna. Originally, the order is from Krishna.
How does that come?
Comes by disciple succession. Just like Krishna said this knowledge to Arjuna, and Arjuna said to others, and it is open, everyone can take it. There is no secrecy. We have to accept only. That's all.
I missed that. I'm sorry.
The order is already there. It is open secret. There is no secrecy. Anyone can take it.
All right, but in terms of specific, say,
Details.
choosing specific things, specific details.
Yes, in all details. How to become Krishna conscious, there is all details in this book. Bhagavad Gita as it is.
So he's asking what's a man's qualification to be chosen.
In other words, Prabhupada will decide who should be leader if he's qualified. And there's a process for making him qualified, and there's a process for testing to see if he is qualified. So in that way it all comes from Krishna.
But you chose, for example, these fellows here to run the publishing house and be responsible for what he's
Yes, like he's in charge of publication, he's in charge of something else, he's in charge like that.
On what basis? Can you tell me some of the things?
Basis just to see whether he's qualified, that's all. Just like ordinarily, one manager is appointed by the superior authority on the merit, on his qualification, that's all.
Okay, it's it a mediated choice, or is it a direct communication from Krishna? That's my question.
Oh, he is asking whether we claim that God speaks to us directly.
Yeah, God speaks to you when you are qualified. Okay, you cannot expect God as order supplier. When he sees that you are qualified, he will speak to you.
God, the spiritual master, is the representative of God to the disciple. He is in direct contact with God.
See, my spiritual master appointed me that you do this. Similarly, I shall appoint somebody else. This is it.
It's difficult for people to understand that God can speak to a man. They question, how can God speak to some man?
That is anything that the radio message is coming. A foolish man cannot understand how it is coming. You think how it is there? Speaking. So any foolish man will be astonished how things are happening. That is foolishness. But God says, see, I know this. What?
All three? Saivayam Teja.
Buddhi yogam dadami tam jnanam
Tesham
sadhuyuktanam bhajatam kriti bhuvanam
Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti.
Yes.
To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me.
God is situated in everyone's heart. As soon as he sees that he is a qualified person, then he gives him instruction.
But in the same way that Krishna says he'll provide for all your needs, you still must work to achieve whatever Krishna is giving you.
You work for Krishna.
So
you have to work to get your necessities.
In the same way, I'm curious with respect to the way Krishna communicates with you, whether it's in a similar kind of way that gives you your necessities.
In other words, just when you decide that someone is to be in charge of a particular temple, does Krishna tell you that this person should be in charge?
Or you, by judging him, say this person is qualified.
Yes. Because a devotee always consults Krishna. And he gives
So
order.
that's a more direct communication.
Yeah,
But
and he gives order.
because intelligence, our philosophy is that intelligence comes from Krishna. So if I have
Fine,
some...
your philosophy is that your daily necessities come from Krishna.
Yes,
as well.
try to understand. If suppose my intelligence sees that this person is qualified, that means Krishna has told me. Because
No,
he's
not necessarily.
He's the...
Krishna will tell directly. A devotee always consults Krishna and Krishna tells him, do like that. Not figuratively.
Does that apply then to other kinds of decisions and other kinds of activities?
Everything,
as well?
everything. Because a devotee does not do anything without consulting Krishna.
But that applies to a very greatly elevated soul. That's not an ordinary
And that is, therefore the minor devotees, they consult the spiritual master. That is our process. Josya prasadad bhagavat prasad.
I see. I was trying to explain the minor devotees.
No, I was talking about...
You're talking about the topmost level.
Good, right to the soul. To the top.
That will do it for me. I thank you kindly.